Hello, my name is Miss Garner. My students call me Miss Allison, and I'm going to be your music teacher today. We're going to do some things that maybe you're not used to, or you're not comfortable with, or you've never done before, and that's all right. If you're comfortable just to watch, that's okay too. And if you would like to participate and join us, that would be wonderful. So we're going to start today with a song. But the song, I'm just going to chant like this. Engine, engine number 9, going through Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. Can you keep a beat with me? You can tap your knees or clap your hands. Ready, go. Engine, engine number 9, going through Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. What would happen if we moved our beat a little faster? Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. What happens when we go slower with the beat? Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. And let's speed our beat back up to a regular tempo. And why don't you say it with me if you know any of this poem yet? Let's sing it or say it together. Ready, go. Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. Now another way we could do our beat is this way. Knees, hands, knees, hands, knees, hands. Try that with me. Can you keep it steady? Now, let's try the poem. Ready, go. Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. Were you able to keep it going and say the words too? It's okay if you just want to do one thing or the other. So when we're doing our knees, hands, we could count that with 1 being on the knees and 2 being on the hands. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're now organizing our beats into a meter. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. So we can organize our beats in 2s. We could organize them in 4s, but we would have to change our hands to make that work. And if we did, it would be knees, hands, snap, hands. And if you can't snap or you're not comfortable doing that, you can flick. So try flicking your fingers away from your hands. It makes a sound too. Can you hear it? So we can do knees, hands, flick, hands, knees, hands, snap, hands. Either way works. And if we counted that, it wouldn't be 2, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Count that with me. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do either 1, 2, or I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one am I doing? Can you tell? Engine, engine number 9, going down Chicago line. When she's polished, she will shine. Engine, engine number 9. Well, that went 1, 2, 3, 4. That was organizing our beats into 4s. So we, as musicians, often use what we call a metronome. And this is my metronome. My metronome looks a little bit like a spaceship, but it's not a spaceship, it's a metronome, and it keeps my beat for me if I'm practicing. Do you hear that? Click, 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 and there's even a light. So the metronome can go very fast. Click, 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 or it can go very slowly, depending on how I want to practice or play. So using a metronome can be a useful tool in your practice, but it's also good to know that this is something that we use as musicians to learn the beat, to keep a steady tempo. So I would like for all of you to sit down for a moment, and we're going to look at a book. This book is called Freight Train. It's by a man named Donald Cruz, and it is published by Mulberry Paperback in New York, and the edition is a 1992 copyright. So, what do you notice in this picture? There's a train track. Do you see a train on that train track? Not yet, but let's read the book and see what happens. A train runs oh, I forgot the beat. Can you keep the beat for me? Chug, 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 chug. Now I can't do it and read the book at the same time. So you're going to have to keep it very steady so that I can read it with you. A train runs across this track. A red caboose, an orange tank car, yellow hopper car, green cattle car, blue gondola car, purple box car, a black tender, and a black steam engine. Chuck, chuck, chuck. Keep that beat going. Freight train. Chuck, 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 chuck. Moving. Chuck, 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 chuck. Going through tunnels. Chuck, 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 chuck. Going by cities. Chuck, 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 chuck. Crossing trestles. Chuck, 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 chuck. Moving in darkness. Chuck, chuck. Moving in daylight. Going, going. So, in our book, we kept a beat, but did it stay the same? It didn't, did it? As the train got faster, so did our beat. And as the train got faster, in this case, it got louder too. We didn't talk about dynamics, but we can play loudly or softly. And this train got louder and louder and louder and louder and louder till it was forte. And then as it moved away from us, it got softer and softer and softer and softer until we couldn't see it anymore. So we had a beat, we had tempo because we got faster, and we had dynamics. We got loud and soft. These are musical things, and all within keeping a steady pulse or beat. So we're going to do a movement exercise that starts out with walking. Do you know how to walk? Raise your hand if you know how to walk. So we're going to begin with walking. And you can walk forwards or backwards or sideways the other way or diagonally. You can walk any way you want to as long as you don't run into somebody or something. But we're going to start out with just our walking steps. So find a good space where you're not touching anybody, and let's use our walking feet. How's the walking going? What if we got this beat a little bit faster? The walking would have to go faster, wouldn't it? What if I had to go slowly? What kind of walking would we have now? It's slow. Now we're going to speed it back up to our normal walking pace. What was that? That was not a walking sound. That was a high sound. Can you show me a high shape? With your body, you can stretch up to the sun and see if you can reach it. And that would be a high shape. If we did a low shape, it would be down on the ground. Touch the ground. And you have a low shape. So show me a high shape. Show me a low shape. So let's go back to our walking. And I may throw those in at some point, but you don't know when. So high, low. That's called register. It's also a word we use often in relationship to high and low as pitch. So that's a word you may hear your music teacher use, pitch. So we had a high pitch and a low pitch, and we kept a steady beat with our feet. Now, while you rest on the ground, let's try putting the beat in your hands. You can do it this way. You can do it this way. You can do it this way. Or you can make up a way. As long as you keep the beat. I don't care how you do it. So let's try this in your hands. So we got slower that time. Were you able to keep the beat with your hands? So now I would like you to stand up and we're going to do a game. And the game goes like this. Your feet are, or is number one. So point to your feet. That's number one. Number two is hands. So So what's number one? Feet. What's number two? Hands. What's number two? Hands. What's number two? Hands. Number one, feet. All right? So standing up, we're going to start with number one. That's feet, right? Number two. So you're standing in place now and just using your hands to keep the beat. Number one. Number two. One. Two. Down on the ground. How'd you do? Were you able to keep up? It's not easy, is it? But it's kind of fun to try. And I've done this with grown-ups, and they're messing up all over the place. They're not as good as you guys are at being able to follow instructions quickly. So I'm sure you did well. So we're doing high and low, which is pitch. We're doing fast and slow, which is tempo. And we're doing loud and soft, which is dynamics. Those are big words, but you may hear your music teacher use them, and now you know what they mean. Another thing that we do in music is less a musical element, and it's more just what you feel and hear. When something happens, whether it's good or it's bad, you can feel and hear your reaction to it. And music can affect us the same way. Art can affect us the same way. Words can affect us the same way. So I'm going to show you a picture that was painted many years ago by a man named Turner. He was an Englishman. And I wonder if by looking at this painting, can you tell what's in that painting? Can you make out any kind of object that you can recognize? It's kind of hard to do because of all the different colors he uses in there. I think that he's painting what he feels more than what he sees. Color is one way he does that, but what else does he do to make it look the way he feels? Well, I think that the shapes and the lines are just really blurry. It's very hard to tell what it is that he's painting, but that's not important to him. What's important to him is what he feels. This is actually a painting about a train. Can you see the train? You can make out a train in there, but it's hard because it's going fast. And he shows that it's going fast by blurring all the lines. And so we're going to be the train that's in this picture. We're going to move the way we feel and still have a beat. So if we had this sound, this is from a piece by Beethoven. It's a sonata for piano, and it's one of the famous ones, the Waldstein. And we're just going to use a little bit of the beginning of it because I think it sounds a little bit like a train chugging. What do you think? So I want you to stand up if you're not already standing and show me with your body what you hear. those fast steps? Are they slow steps? Are they loud? Are they soft? Are they high or are they low? That's what you want to do with your body, because that is what's going to communicate what you feel. And if you hear it being low and quiet and not fast and not really slow, but an in-between tempo, that's the way you want to move. Let's try it again. Okay, so that's your beginning tempo. That's your beginning movement. If we got to the next part of the piece, it would sound like this. My notes get faster all of a sudden. And they get just a little bit less defined. They get a little bit more blurry, like in that painting. And so what would your movements look like in that part? Think about it. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit less clear. It's still quiet. What would that look like? So you've got two different ways of keeping the beat. Chug, 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 chug. And then maybe twice as fast. Does that change our tempo, really? It doesn't. We just have faster notes, but we're still keeping the same beat. So really, we haven't changed the tempo. It sounds like we have gotten faster, but we really haven't. It's that our beat is the same and our notes are faster. So you can experiment with what that might feel like in your body. And if you want to listen to this piece in its entirety, I suggest you do so. It's you can find it online. It's the Waldstein Beethoven Sonata. And a beautiful pianist that plays this, that specializes in Beethoven, is Jonathan Biss, B-I-S-S. You can look him up and listen to him play the Waldstein, and it's spectacular. You'll love the piece. So our last thing that we're going to do today involves another piece of music that I absolutely love, called The Hall of the Mountain King by Grieg. And before we do that, I just want to show you something with my train set. And I'm going to pull it back a little bit so that maybe you can see it better. There. So these things sticking up so you can see them are our beats. How many do you see? How many beats do you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we used my train set, we could put a train car at every beat. And that would be our beats, grouped in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I added one more thing to this and did stick, 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 stick. It doesn't matter what color they are. So those sticks are also on our beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these sticks represent notes. So if we decided that we wanted faster notes, but we wanted to keep the beat, we would add our sticks to that. And I will show you what this looks like so that it is something you can see. So if I take a beat and then put these two sticks like that and add one on top, I have a different set of notes. This is a quarter note, or a 1. I'll put it here, I think it's easier to see. And this is a 1 and, or 2/8 notes. And when we do 1, 1, 1, 1, we're doing our quarters. But when we do 1, 1, 1, 1, we're doing 1/8 notes. Bum, 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 bum. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that's something that we will get into in a later lesson. But I wanted to give you some idea of what that would look like in music. All right, so let's go on to the Grieg concerto. The Grieg, I said concerto and it's not. The Grieg is a piece of music for orchestra. So you're going to hear all kinds of instruments in this. And it is based on a Norwegian folk tale. And with my students, I often tell the tale before we do this. So you could look that up if you wanted to see what the story of the Hall of the Mountain King is about. It's a folk tale from Norway. So, and you can look that up on a map. Norway's very far from here, and it gets cold there. There's lots of snow. So let's start out. That's Hall of the Mountain King. I'm doing it sitting down. You can follow my motions, or you could get up and do your own. But it starts piano, doesn't it? It starts even softer than piano. It starts pianissimo. And it does get faster. My heart's going like this right now. Is yours? It gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. So exciting. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope it inspires you to listen to some of these pieces. We listened to the Waldstein today, Piano Sonata by Beethoven. We listened to some folk music. We did the Grieg, and I've got, the name of that is from the Peer Gynt Suite, and it is the Hall of the Mountain King from the Peer Gynt Suite, Opus 23, Suite number 1. And it is, this particular recording is from the Gramophone label. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.